Hi, grade 7 students! Today, we are here to learn more about multimedia presentation using Microsoft PowerPoint. Let's begin by integrating a little bit of English as springboard to our lesson. We will have a group Q&A activity about transition words for this. Are you ready? Remember, transition words are words or phrases that are used to show your reader the relationship between phrases, sentences, or even paragraphs. Using transition words makes it easier for the readers to understand how thoughts and ideas are connected. Also, they prepare your reader for what's coming. Are you ready for what's coming? Don't worry. Each group will answer just one question. I will flash and read the question, then I will spin the wheel to randomly select which group should answer from available choices. Let's start. Question number 1. Blank of the weather. The football game will be played tomorrow. Therefore, regardless, in addition, furthermore. To answer this, the wheel selected Group 1. And the answer is regardless. Good job, Group 1. By the way, transition words can be divided into several categories based on the type of transition you want to make. Different transitions do different things. And the word regardless in this sentence is an example of adversative transition which signals concession. Alright, let's move on to question number 2. I dropped my cell phone and it broke. Blank, I need to either buy a new one or borrow yours. In spite of, likewise, furthermore, therefore, otherwise. To answer this, the wheel selected Group 2. And the answer is therefore. Nice work, Group 2. But why did you select that answer? Correct. Therefore is a causal transition because it signals effect or result. Are you ready for the next question? Here's question number 3. Jeremy is active and enjoys exercising. Blank Chris sits on his couch all day playing video games. Similarly, for example, in addition, on the other hand, as a result. Now, let's find out which group will answer this question. The spinner choose Group 4. The correct answer is on the other hand. Great teamwork, Group 4. Like the word regardless, on the other hand is also an adversative transition, but this indicates conflict. Can anyone from the group provide other examples of this kind of transition words? But, however, in contrast, whereas, yes, those are some examples of transition words that indicates conflict. Wow, you're doing great. Now, let's proceed to question number 4. My sister is very kind and generous person. Blank, she helps me with my homework and drives me to basketball practice. Likewise, hence, additionally, as a result, for example. And to answer this, the wheel selected group number 5. You're right. The answer is, for example, which is a transition word that shows illustration or examples. Well done, Group 5. Now, the last question is reserved for group number 3. Are you ready? Let's read question number 5. Which of the following transitional phrases cannot be used in the following sentence? Kathy is sick. Blank, she came to school today. Nevertheless, still, as a result, despite that, nonetheless. Please, before you answer, note that you need to select the option that is not applicable in the sentence. Okay? Ready? Yes, the answer is as a result. Why? Because the words or phrases nevertheless, still, despite that, and nonetheless are all adversative transition which connect contradicting statements. Well done! Your English teacher will be very proud of you. Now, let me pull you back to ICT. A PowerPoint presentation can be enhanced using a special effect between each slide. Do you know what it is? Yes, transitions or slide transitions. Let's consider defining it. I will intentionally leave some words blank so you can fill it out. Who wants to try? Slide blank are motion blank that occur in slideshow view when you blank from one slide to the next during a blank. Let's fill it out. Slide transitions are motion effects that occur in slideshow view when you move from one slide to the next during a presentation. Very good. You got the word transitions, effects, move, and presentation. Amazing. Just like transition words, slide transitions are carefully used for your audience to understand how your slides are connected. In other words, slide transition effects are applied and customized to ensure smooth progression throughout the presentation. Now, before we learn more how to apply these transitions in your PowerPoint presentation, let's talk about some categories of transitions. There are 3 unique categories of transitions to choose from, all of which can be found on the Transitions tab in your menu. The first one is subtle. These are the most basic type of transitions. They are simple and uses minimal animation to move between slides. The second one is exciting. These use more complex animations to transition between slides. While they are visually interesting than subtle, adding too many can make your presentation look less professional. However, when used in moderation, they can add a nice touch between important slides. Now, let's go to the third category. It's called dynamic content. If you're transitioning between 2 slides that use similar slide layout, dynamic transition will move only the placeholders, not the slide themselves. When used correctly, dynamic transition can help unify your slides and add a further level to polish your presentation. Transitions are best used in moderation. Adding too many transitions can make your presentation look a little silly and can be even distracting to your audience, and you do not want that. Considering using mostly subtle transition and not using transitions at all, that's fine. But again, we're learning this so that you can enhance your presentation. But remember, moderation is the key. Now we're moving on to hands-on teaching demo. Please open the PowerPoint practice slide saved on your desktop. I hope you're ready to multitask as you watch and listen to me while navigating PowerPoint commands in your PC. In PowerPoint, it is easy to apply transitions between previous slide to the current slide. The first thing that you have to do is find and click transitions from the Command tab, and this will launch the options and commands for transitions in the ribbon. If you want to show all the transitions that can apply to a slide, you click this drop-down arrow. As previously discussed, there are three categories of transitions: subtle for simple animations, exciting for more complex and interesting animations, and dynamic content. This moves the content within slides having similar or same layout. Now, let's go and know how to apply a transition. The first step is select the desired slide from the slide navigation pane. If that slide is selected, you will know it will be highlighted in orange like this. This is the slide that will appear after the transition. Second, you need to click Transitions from the tab. Then locate the transition to this slide. Group. By default, None is applied to each slide. Click More or the drop-down arrow to display all the transitions that you can select. Then, click a transition that you want to apply to the selected slide. This will automatically preview the transition. On this example, Push from the subtle category is selected. Remember that you can use Apply to All, a command in timing group to apply the same transition to all slides in the presentation. However, you must remember that this will modify any other transition that you have applied. For example, you have customized a particular transition from slides 1 to 4, and then this is your fifth slide. Whatever transition you selected, and then you click Apply to All, it will override all the other transitions that you previously selected from slides 1 to 4. So be careful with that. The next is how to preview a transition. To do that, you can either click Preview command on the Transitions tab. Again, that's in the ribbon. Or the other option is by finding this little moving star icon in the slide navigation pane just below the number of the slide. And that will give you the preview of the transition that you have selected. Now, let's learn how to modify transitions. To modify the transition effect, you can quickly customize the look of a transition by changing its direction. You can do that by selecting the slide with the transition you want to modify. Say you click that and then find and click the Effect Options command and choose the desired option. These options will vary depending on the selected transition. For example, you selected Push. Then that particular transition can go from bottom, from left, from right, or from top. The transition will be modified, and a preview of the transition will appear. Please remember also that some transitions do not allow to modify the direction. But you can modify transition on its duration. Again, the first thing you have to do is select the slide with the transition that you want to modify. In the duration field in the timing group, enter the desired time for the transition. In this example, we'll decrease the time to half a second or 0.50 to make the transition faster. Another modification that you can do is adding sound.
Select the slide with the transition you want to modify. Then, click the sound drop-down menu in the timing group. After that, click a sound to apply it in that selected slide. Then preview the transition so you can hear the sound. Remember that sound are best used in moderation. There are some slides that doesn't need sound, and overdoing or over-applying sound to many slides will either annoy your audience, and it can be overwhelming too. Let's go to how to advance slides automatically. Normally, in slideshow view, you would advance to the next slide by clicking your mouse or by pressing either the space bar or the arrow keys on your keyboard. However, you can also advance the slide automatically. Find the Advanced Slide setting in the timing group, and this will allow the presentation to advance or go to the next on its own. It will display the next slide with a specific time. This feature is especially useful for unattended presentation like those that we see and view during booth presentation or birthdays. In order to do that, select the slide that you want to modify. Locate the timing group on the Transitions tab, and under the Advanced Slide, uncheck the box on the On mouse click. In the After field, enter the amount of time you want to display the slide. In this example, we will advance the slide automatically after 1 minute and 15 seconds. That's why we will indicate 01:15.00. Select another slide and repeat the process until all slides have desired timing. You can also click the Apply All command to apply the same timing to all of your slides. If you need to advance the next slide before an automatic transition happens, you can always click the mouse or press the space bar to advance it just as you advance a normal slide. Lastly, let's learn how to remove a transition. With a selected slide that has a transition, all you have to do is select None, and this will remove the transition. So I think you all get it. If you have a question, I'm just here, and I can go on your station as you practice how to add the slide and how to modify them and how to remove the transition.
At this point, to help us with our lesson, we will watch a tutorial video on applying transitions created by Goodwill Community Foundation Incorporated. This is available on their website www.edu.gcfglobal.org and on their YouTube channel gcflearnfree.org. Let's all watch.
Goodwill Community Foundation, creating opportunities for a better life.
Have you ever seen a presentation that had special effects between each slide? If so, you've probably seen transitions in action. A transition can be as simple as fading from one slide to the next, or it can be a lot more flashy, like this animation of a bird. You can create all kinds of effects using the options on the Transitions tab. Start by selecting one of your slides, then click the arrow here to view all of your choices at once. Transitions are divided into 3 categories depending on the type of effect they use. Let's change this transition back to a subtle option. How about push? To play a transition again, all you have to do is click the preview command on the ribbon or the tiny star that appears next to the slide. If you change your mind, you can easily remove the transition by going back to the menu and choosing None in the top left corner. I do like this transition, so I'm going to leave it applied. I would like to play with the timing though, and some of the other options over here on the right. For example, you can quickly customize the look of a transition by customizing its effects. Click the Effect Options command and choose the one you want from the menu. These options will vary depending on how the transition works, but in this example we'll select From Left, and now the slide appears from the left side instead of the bottom. The duration field lets you decide how long the transition will take. So if we change the length from 1 second to a half second, or 0.5 in this case, it'll cut the time in half and the transition will happen a lot faster. You can even add a sound to a transition using the drop-down menu here. Just click the one you want, and you'll hear what it sounds like the next time you play through your presentation. I'd like to show you the options under Advanced Slide. Here you can set your slides to advance automatically without having to click your mouse. This is primarily used for presentations that are going to be left unattended automatically. Uncheck the box next to On Mouse Click, then check the box next to After. In the After field, type the amount of time you want the slide to be displayed. In this example, we'll set it to advance automatically after 1 minute and 15 seconds. At this point, you can select another slide and repeat the process until all of your slides have the transitions you want.
There you have it. Did you enjoy learning today? I hope you can practice applying transitions in your presentations on your own. See you next time. Goodbye.